Kia ora, and welcome to Constellations and All That. I'm your host, Tracy Cartwright, and together we will be exploring the world of family constellations with and clients from around the world, looking at different perspectives and experiences in the work, having a cup of tea, and just chatting with some friends around their experiences in constellations. We'd love for you to join us. I hope that you enjoy this series as much as I have loved making it. Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to Constellations and All That. Oh, today I'm super excited. I have my friend Miranda Claire here with me. Hey, Miranda, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm equally excited. That's how I'm doing.
Oh, it's so good to have you join us.
So good to be here.
So, Miranda, my invitation here on the podcast is I don't introduce you in audio, but I invite you to introduce yourself so that, because there'll be some people that are listening to this and some people that will be viewing it
Mm,
on YouTube too. So, just share a little bit about yourself, where you're
sure.
based, and whatever comes up for you.
Sounds good. So my name is Miranda Claire. I'm affectionately known as the Soulmate Coach because I'm a coach and have been for many, many years/decades. And I help people with all things to do with love and self-love and soulmates and loss and all that juicy relationshipy stuff. Some people just call me Cupid. That's probably because of the
Mm.
relationships I've helped form. But yeah, I love love, and I have had a huge personal journey around love and loss, and not just from textbooks, but from real lived life. And so there's not much that a person can throw at me around the topics of love or loss that I haven't been through, or I don't get intimately because of what I've been through. And all the stuff on the bookshelf is just an added bonus, all the
Yeah.
constellations and NLP and all of that jazz. But yeah, bit of a medicine woman at heart as well, and love weaving through magic and spirituality wherever I can as well.
And you so embody that too, which is beautiful. That's
Yeah,
so beautiful.
thank you,
Yeah.
Cosmic Mama.
You and I met in Sydney last year.
That's right. Yes, thank you for reminding me where I reside because sometimes I think it's another planet. I'm based in Sydney. Yeah, we did meet in Sydney last year at a few events, actually. And I don't know about you, but it was love at first sight on my end.
I was like, who's that lady over there?
Oh,
I want
yeah,
to get to know her.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And worked with Maria Delence for 6, 8 months. I like it. Was it over a long period of time, wasn't it? It was
It was
quite a
a
while.
full calendar year with different events
Yeah.
all throughout it in the beautiful constellation space. And yeah, that was a beautiful environment to meet in as we learned all the, in your case,
Mm.
deepening the learnings, and in my case, adding those learnings to my
I
toolkit.
was trying to be incognito, and I think I did all right for the first day or two until someone outed me. I think Maria outed me at the end as to who I was. I was just trying to be, oh, I'll just blend in here. No one's going to know that I've been a facilitator for a long time. So,
I think you outed yourself just quietly with your aura because I walked in and I'm scanning the room and I'm like, who is that? And I think I asked. Yeah, no, it's beautiful to have you and bring all your New Zealand experience and
mm,
international experience into the, it was amazing.
thank you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was a great experience being there.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
tell me, how did constellations find you?
Oh, I love that question. Very well worded. I'm going to change my feedback form. Constellations found me. So I am a coach and a facilitator, and I can train trainers and give them their certificate and all of that in things like NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy. And whilst I love and live and breathe those modalities, they're quite heady in nature and ripple maybe into the emotions. So being someone that's very heart focused myself, I've always been on the lookout for modalities to complement that because, we're a mind, body, spirit, emotions, heart,
Mm,
a lot. And I've seen different people just by being in the personal development space for so long do different activities, and some of them have labeled what they're doing and some of them haven't, and some of it has been hybrids. But I've been seeing this kind of, I used to call it role play work, woven into the personal development industry, but I could never quite put my finger on what it was. And in the last couple of years, after doing my own soul searching and really feeling like I need to drop into that heart space and somatic space more fully, I was like, right, I need to add some new medicine to my goodie box. And I
Yeah.
started doing some research and actually came across Maria, who we both know. And I went on the mission of getting in contact and seeing what it was about and did my first few formal trainings. And there was just this real remembering. I didn't feel like I was learning something new. I felt like I was remembering something I've always known, and not just from the actual role plays I'd done, but
Mm,
in my
mm,
soul. I was like, I'm home. And
yeah.
so that's how it found me. And it only took not too many workshops before I was like, right, how do I do the facilitator version of this and deep dive? And here we are today. And yeah, I'm totally in love with that as a modality, and just love how it incorporates the body, the heart, the field, lineage, ancestral healing, and just all
Mm,
these beautiful topics that I
yeah.
was having an inkling there was more, but didn't know how to package that up. And Constellations found me and went, here I am. This is how you package it up. And it just weaves beautifully together with those other modalities linguistically, and
Mm,
taking it off to the side and working with those other kind of breakthroughs. And it's all just, yeah, I'm in love, as you can hear.
yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. How do you describe constellations to people? Like
Mm.
you're introducing it as a new modality to someone.
Mm. That's a really another good question. This isn't your first rodeo, is it? Hitting me so yes, only
Been
two.
here once or twice.
Just the once or twice. So how I describe it to people, a lot of these modalities, they're quite frustrating because they're powerful and life-changing and magical, but it's quite difficult to describe them without sounding like you might need to be put in the loony bin or something. So
Mm,
and I tend to like to, when I explain things where I can, link it to what the person would potentially get out of it. So if I was talking to someone that had maybe a bit of stuckness around relationships with parents, then I might say, there's a workshop coming up I think you'd really love. It's called Family Constellations. It's where we can get you into your body and bypass that beautiful brain of yours a little bit and really start to look at the trapped energy, the intuitive insights, the things that you can't access by thinking
mm,
about this all the time in your body, in your heart, in your spirit, and even in something called the field, which is a little bit
yeah.
mysterious. And you'll find out what that means when you do it. And I do that as a little bit of a cliffhanger to evoke curiosity. And I say, but basically, if you're ready to shift that or start to shift that, then I feel like this could be a really different, beautiful, powerful modality for you to try. And
I
so
love that.
always link it to what the person wants to get out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm often when I'm saying it and I'm describing, I might give them a little quick, brief description. And
Mm.
I might say something like, oh, when there might be a mother who maybe at six had some sort of trauma and and they'll go, you've just said my story, like it totally, it's the field again once it's tuning
Hmm.
into that person and you go, oh, okay, it was just like the randoms that popped in, but knowing that it's never random, right?
Yes,
The things that we're sharing as well.
absolutely. That's beautiful. That gave me goosebumps.
Now, I know there have been some really big shifts in your life since I first met you last year. And yeah, and how would you attribute constellations to those things?
Well, yeah, I like to say that the soulmate coach got soulmate coached by herself and by the field, because since discovering constellation, so basically I've been doing this relationship jam for a while, and I did what a lot of healers do, which is help everyone else and go, oh, get to me. And not from a, toxic, incongruent place, but there was a deep trusting that I would actually get to me. But because the word but deletes everything you said before it. And I didn't mean to do that. I realized, you know what? I actually feel ready to meet my soulmate and
Mm,
go down the path that I've helped so many others go down. And whilst when you are a coach, I'm always authentic. I'll be very real, whether I'm single or soulmated. I think they're both just as fabulous and both come with just as many learnings and opportunities and downfalls, so that I don't have a bias to one way or the other, even though the name might suggest I do. But I just in my soul was actually ready to have a really fulfilling relationship. I felt called and ready. And I decided to go on a bit of a hiatus and pause my coaching business and actually go on a self-love and soulmate adventure of my own and do all the things that I teach. And so I deep dived into my own personal development, my own healing. It took me on a wild adventure involving shamanic medicine, plant medicine, all the medicines, mind, body, spirit, different modalities. And I just let myself immerse, not from the point of view of, oh, great, I'm going to immerse and learn this and go and teach and help someone else, but just from the just fully dropping in and going, I'm just going to absorb this. The end. For me, as a gift to me. And for those of you that don't know me, I do have quite a big backstory, losing my mum 10 years ago, adopting my baby sister. Yeah, it's been a life filled with love and lessons and loss. And I felt like it was a bit of a stop and pause and do some deeper work around all my stuff. So did that, found constellations. It was one of those first few trainings. It's probably been over the last couple of years that I've taken that break. And went along. It's actually Maria's course. And I was so excited because I tracked her down. I knew what it was and was in there. And we spent the entire time looking at the father line. And I actually realized I grew up without my dad directly in my life. He and my mum broke up when I was 5. And I did a lot of healing around that masculine lineage. And I realized that I had some stories and some trapped energy and trust issues around that. And that was affecting my own relationship with my own inner masculine, feminine energy, and therefore the ripple effect into the relationships I had with the outer masculine and feminine energies. So I did some unlocking and healing around that, nothing to do directly with soulmate, but just around that masculine father line. And I did some meditation as I was integrating that process, and I got the download. You need to sit with your dad and just be really soft and really gentle. And I hadn't seen him for years. And every time I had seen him, I thought about it, and I'd kind of been in my masculine energy or some kind of armored energy where I had been
Mm.
very me initiating, me driving the conversation, using humor as armor, all that kind of stuff, because the vulnerable little girl in me was really scared to let out how I actually felt about that. And so I just booked a time. I trusted the download, just hung out with him. It's probably for half an hour or 50 minutes. And I was just really soft and gentle in front of him. We didn't talk about anything profound. It was just, how's your day? Let me be curious. Had a little chat. And then I left. And then on the ferry on the way home from him, I got this other big download, which was life's too short. Stop putting off the thing, put aside your ego and put yourself out there. And do it from this energy. And so being a dating coach, I have done the online dating thing before, but it's quite hard to switch off my brain where I, again, am a bit armored. I know how to talk the talk. I know how to get a lot of matches because I understand female and male psychology really bloody well in a dating context, but it's hard to unlearn what you know. And I
Yeah,
stopped and
sure is.
I kind of wrote my profile as the curious, soft little girl who said, when I grow up, I want to meet my soulmate and I want to wear a white dress and I want to get married and I want to have a baby and I want to be looked after and I want to look after you. And I got all gooey and gentle and I didn't even edit it. And the first swipe I had, the first, is now the man that I am planning a wedding with and have a little boy cooking in my womb with. And it was all a ripple effect from that constellation
It's
and that
so
soulmate.
beautiful.
And here I am, and I'm now having a little boy, which is really interesting with the masculine line. And yeah, it's really powerful, this stuff. So the work that I do with constellations, I want to weave into that relationship space because it just feels so yummy and congruent because I've seen the magic of that.
Mm. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So not long to go. You've got a couple of
No.
months.
He's due on my birthday, so I call him my little gift from the field, from
Wow.
from whoever and wherever. So my birthday's on March 20th. So I think I'm about 31, 32 weeks. I've kind of stopped counting. I'm at that I'm at that stage where we stop counting calories, we stop counting kilos, and we stop counting weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few weeks to go, and I'm planning a beautiful home birth. So we're going to weave in shamanic drumming and beautiful music. I've got two gorgeous private midwives that I've come across, and we're planning all of that at the moment, and definitely going to make it a bit of a birthing ceremony and bring back the magic of birth.
Lovely. How is that work in Australia? Is that funded governmentally or do you have to pay for that?
I have to pay for that, unfortunately, but luckily it's becoming a more recognized way of doing things. So, there's such a spectrum with birth where there's, full on hospital, full on private obstetrician or public with whatever doctor you get. And then there's, the private system, and then there's sort of free birthing with do it fully yourself. And what I love is I thought that home birthing was a bit of a woo-woo thing to do, but actually all the major hospitals here have it as a program, as long as you're low risk, that even the hospitals endorse. But if you just go through the regular public system, you'll just get who you get. As the midwives, it might be one of four that rotate if they're on annual leave when you deliver. Whereas when you
That
pick,
come to your home?
they'll do visits at your home, they can do the home birth, they can bring you to
Okay.
hospital if needed. But in my case, I actually wanted someone that I really resonated with and trusted deeply, and I didn't want the person to change around. So that's why I decided to do it privately and fund. But you don't have to, there's lots of options.
Gosh, we're lucky here in New Zealand. We've got, yeah, we as midwives are available to everybody, private midwives and we can home birth or we can hospital birth and we can free birth as well. So it's all
Beautiful.
a choice. You don't have to pay for it.
Beautiful.
Pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
So that's my next big adventure that the field
Yeah.
took me. So that's
That's that's very cool. Very cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, straight away, so I look at my wall. My wall's kind of got some inspirational, well, some words on it.
Mm.
And the first word that I look at and that comes to mind is loss and grief. Now, you
Ooh.
touched briefly on that before. Is that something that you feel are happy to talk about?
Oh, I'm a Scorpio rising. I live in the dark depths, darling. Like, let's go there. I'm relieved you brought it back onto the table. Even when I said it, I felt my little ego chime in and go, "Oh, is that a bit too heavy to bring up?" So, thank you for bringing it.
No, that's what this is about, right?
Yeah, and I think in this, I'm a big believer that births, deaths, and marriages are all just as beautiful and exciting, and rites of passage and should all be on the table. And the taboo that we feel around sharing them, let's break that here and now. So bring it on.
Well, what would you like to share about that? Because that's
Yeah, look, I'm happy to get really real and raw around that. My beautiful mum, who's still very much around me in angel form, she passed away due to mental health, the big S. It was 10 years ago now. I can't believe it's been 10 years with
wow. Yeah.
loss and grief. It's like a psychedelic drug. Like it feels like it was yesterday and it feels like it never happened all at the same
Mhm.
time. But it has been 10 years, but that's colored very much who I am and the work that I do and who I help and how I help them, because that really set me on a path of my own healing and resolving my own trauma around that and
Mm.
creating my own narrative around that, forming a new relationship with her without her human body around anymore. And yeah, that's all really active, I guess, for me becoming a mother now. So
Well, she left you a bit of a legacy there, didn't she?
yeah. Oh, I couldn't be more proud to have a more beautiful mother as a role model. And I really do feel our parents teach us in
Mm.
what they teach us and what they give us in the light aspects, I guess. They teach us to walk, they teach us to talk, they teach us whatever other things they teach us, but they also teach us through the shadows and what they were not able to give us, what they were not able to be here for. And yeah, she had her own demons and battles, which unfortunately took her back home to
Yeah.
source, wherever it is we all
That
go, whatever we believe in.
that pull to death, hey, was strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It just makes you realize mental health's no joke. That will to live that we all have, that switch can be flicked, whether it's situational, or whether it's psychological or trauma that you haven't resolved from childhood. And
Mm,
all the work that I do, whether I talk about it directly or not, or whether that kind of thing has impacted who I help or not, just that deep knowing of the importance of this work and releasing the things that we're ready to release. I carry that with me and I don't take that lightly. It is the difference of life or death in many cases. Yeah.
and so, how old were sorry, this is a personal question here. How old were you when Mum left?
Oh, ask me whatever. The more personal, the better. You should know that about me by now. Well, juicy questions allowed.
Oh,
So
I'm just being polite.
I'm now 40. And side note, mothers that birth at 40 are more likely to live to 90 or 100. Useful fact
Oh,
for anyone out there deciding to do what I do and juggling a toddler with menopause potentially.
I got close to 40, but
So I was 30 10 years ago. And yeah.
so you then stepped into becoming a mother role at 30.
I did. So it was me and my beautiful sister Lily, and she at the time was 12, I at the time was 30. And I took Lily in and we
Mm,
became the new family unit. So whilst she'll always be genetically my sister, and will always be a hybrid because of that, I did step into that mum energy, and she,
mm,
the language I use around that to honor it, because as we know, we're a constellations community. The order of love is really important, and she is
mm.
my beautiful sister, but I've always called her my little one, even since when
Yeah,
I was around, and I kind of kept that label because it honors that hybrid without giving her a title that doesn't acknowledge our mum. But yeah,
yeah.
she's my little one. So I lost my mum and kind of became a mum around the same time, which was a huge learning opportunity, a huge loving opportunity, a really unusual situation to have all of that beauty and
Mm,
joy combined with all of that tragedy at once. Yeah, it was really big.
yeah.
Yeah.
And through the constellation work, has it helped you to understand your mum more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's actually interesting how powerful constellation work is, that just by being a representative for other people or working on other stuff going on in your life, it's amazing how it heals things like this situation without you directly having to work on it head on. So
Mm,
I never felt the need to directly work on it because all the other little micro breakthroughs I got kind of healed something around that, as well as all the other work I've done. But a really powerful recent one, it was at a big constellation conference recently here in Australia, was I did some beautiful work around blended families and around orders of love. So coming together with my beautiful partner, he has a daughter of his own. I came with my beautiful little one. And then we both had a black cat each, which was convenient. So we've got our witchy blended household with two little black cats and now a little boy on the way for the cherry on top. But there's a lot of complexity there with, the blended family, orders of love, and just to see that all mapped out. And for me to connect with intuitively how everyone's sitting with that outside of myself, because I know how I sit with those different dynamics, and I can imagine how others sit with those dynamics, but to actually embody it was really, really powerful, and that felt something click. So that was really powerful.
was it with Melanie?
It was, yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And it was amazing because my partner and our beautiful blended family, we've come together and all been living under the one roof. It's all been quite recent, really. It's been in the time that I paused coaching. It's all been in the last couple of years, so it's still relatively early. And being a bit of a perfectionist at times, and also having all of this knowledge about these empowering modalities, I was like, why is there any little energetic prickles? And why is this feeling tricky and new and awkward? And I feel like I'm writing with my left hand here and I should be nailing this. And Melanie, who is an expert in blended families with constellations, among other things, said in Europe and places like that, blended families is an entire area of study. And it's a well-known fact that it can take up to 6 years for a blended family, for the nervous systems of everyone to kind of relax and everyone to know their place and feel at home.
Mm,
And that's with help. That's with experts like her who actually know how to help all the
yeah.
individuals and the group. So I'm like, all right, I got to get off my own case here. It's been a couple of years, and we're all going beautifully. We all love each other. It's all gorgeous. But it's like doing a daily constellation with all these new representatives you're hanging out with and playing with and different personality types. And yeah, it's interesting.
Absolutely, because you've got your child, and then you've got your partner, and there's this, there's the loyalties, the
Yeah,
dynamics, and mm.
absolutely. Really, really interesting, amazing, beautiful, rewarding kind of stuff to be
So,
involved
so
in.
what did you notice, or have you noticed? Maybe it's too early. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, coming from the relationship framework that I do, it's really and understanding personality types and attachment styles, that kind of stuff has been quite obvious to me because you can really see the members of
Mm,
the unit that are more avoidant leaning from an attachment style point of view. They want to come home after masking all day and pretending that they like all that connection and that stimulation all day. And they want to come home and just be little quiet introverted cats that want no stimulation, minimal interaction, quiet. And that's the nervous system regulation because
yeah.
there's been a lot of output all day, and that introverted kind of self-regulation is what's being craved. And then the more extroverted or anxious attachment leaning characters in the household, you can see that maybe a day out in the world there hasn't been enough genuine connection and that extroversion in a really meaningful way. So they come home and they're kind of wanting that onness. So it's about navigating those different nervous system needs and different relationship styles in a way that's beautiful and respectful. And but then that teaches everyone to learn how to communicate and set boundaries and ask for what they need, which is only growth at the end of the day. Because when you're in your own little bubble that you've been used to for X amount of years, you don't realize how many things are just unsaid that just get those needs met. And when you're in
Yeah.
a new container, you've actually got, you don't have to do anything, but if you want it to feel good and work, you can choose to actually do that and open your throat and open your voice and open your heart and try on emphasize other ways of doing things and have that beautiful mirror put up to you and gone, oh God, I'm a bit of an asshole to live with, aren't I? Or whatever it is. So but no, it's all luckily we've all got very loving, considerate, emotionally intelligent beings, so it's all flowing together nicely. But yeah, it's not without a few lessons along the way, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's
Yeah,
like that, eh? It's like
yeah.
that.
Just add a screaming baby to the mix now, just when we got it all right.
Oh, he's going to be cool.
Oh, he's
He's
gonna be
gonna be really cool.
adorable.
Oh, you've got something coming up.
Oh,
Coming up
I
in
thought you meant
Sydney.
in the field. I'm like, oh, you got it
Oh,
booked
yes,
already.
let me see your aura.
I do have something coming up. So, on February 15th, nice and close to Valentine's Day, but not Valentine's Day, I'm doing a beautiful workshop with a very dear sister friend of mine. And her superpower is very much singing and song, but not in a stuffy kind of choir singing class way, in a very it's her magic, and she
Yeah.
does that internationally, and she's beautiful at what she does. I met her at an event, just like meeting you at an event, and her voice, again, it was love at first sight. She just sings straight from the heart, straight from the soul, but also has the ability to get that out in you, even if you've never sung before. And
Beautiful.
yeah, I don't know if anyone listening can relate to this, but I've been to so many, retreats or workshops where I've seen beautiful elders or sisters or brothers sing, and I've just gone, oh, I wish I could do that. That must feel so freeing and
Mm.
beautiful to open your mouth, sing your guts out, and have it sound beautiful and feel beautiful. And she had a calling to do a workshop soonish, and we got on the phone and she was going, oh, I'm feeling this. And I said, do you know what? I'm actually feeling a workshop. And we were both kind of co-creating the same workshop separately. Mine was going to be a women's workshop all about opening your voice from a more of a sharing and public speaking
Yeah.
and speaking your truth point of view, which is my medicine. And she was feeling it from a let's have a women's circle and sing and make friends with our own voice. And so I said to her, we could both be doing the exact same thing basically separately, or we could hold hands and collaborate and really have fun doing it because, let's face it, we have fun at the workshop, but all the marketing before it is a bit,
Yeah, there's a
how's
bit
it
of
going?
work involved in it, isn't
It
there?
is, it is. So
So whereabouts in Sydney is it?
so it's actually at Bondi, which is interesting because that's where the recent tragedies happened on
Mm,
Bondi Beach. It's in the Bondi Pavilion, which is
okay.
literally exactly where that happened. And we had already decided to work together, decided to run this event, and started the conversation with that venue. And then the Bondi really sad events recently happened. And we stopped and we were a bit taken aback because it was, we were literally there that morning talking to them, which, just that's a whole other conversation. But we decided to keep the event there, even though it's you know, quite an activated space at the moment, because rather than protesting for what we don't want, let's inject into it what we do want, which is love. And this event is all about
Mm.
love. So there'll be deep respect shown for the land that it's on in terms of, the Indigenous land, but also in terms of, pouring some great love and healing into that space around what's happened recently. So,
Absolutely. And I think it would open for the opportunity for people to maybe release the sound that, because when you hear of something like that, that was shocking to the system. And
mhm.
maybe there's an opportunity there to be able to release that sound from your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this event's going to be a really good release. It's a 4 hour long little half day workshop on a Sunday. And it's called Singing Your Heart Song for 2026. So we'll be setting our intention, we'll be releasing what we need to release, making friends with our voice, having a sing
Mm,
along. The vibe will be more like a women's circle or a workshop rather than a singing class or a choir. I
yeah.
personally am not a trained singer, so I know how nerve-wracking this is probably going to be for some of the people coming, potentially how exciting and not nerve-wracking it's going to be for others. And
Mm,
on the flip side, some people might love that and be really scared because I said the word sharing, and public speaking is their biggest fear. But this is, yeah, going to be a really safe space where people do as
mm.
much or as little as they want to, fully supported, safe, cheekiness, fun,
Yeah.
all the right elements to drop into it, and that heart and that throat will release exactly what it's ready to on the day.
Yeah, for those who are ready to really rock into it, or those who are just willing to open a little bit. So you have a flyer for that?
I do have a flyer for that, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you pass it over to me and I will add it to the link, add it to
Speaking of marketing, yeah, I'll send you
the
the
details.
info for anyone that's interested. But I did do a plant medicine retreat as part of this adventure that I've been on, and singing was part of that. It was the first time I had sung publicly, so I know firsthand
Mm,
how much it is about singing, but it's also not about singing. The breakthroughs and the self-love and the self-trust and the self-acceptance and all of the things
mm,
other than singing that come because of the
yeah,
singing just becomes the byproduct of all of that. So I'm all about personal development and growth and transformation. So for me, this is just a beautiful vehicle to express that in. So yeah, I'm delighted to kind of co-create this and do this
that's
and
yeah.
practice more singing myself.
So I've got a bit of FOMO on the other side of the ditch, but I'm sure you guys are going to have a great time. It sounds
We'll,
it sounds
we'll
amazing.
we'll call it
Mm.
even. This pregnant tummy of mine that's not quite ready to get on planes is looking at all of your stuff going, damn it, why does that have to be now? We'll get to it all.
Oh, there'll be more. There'll be more, I'm sure. Hmm. And what about your man? Is he using constellations? Because he came and trained with us as well.
Yeah, real men do personal development.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually ended up doing the trainings together. So I was quite sneaky because when I looked at the facilitator training, it took up a lot of weekends over the 12 months that we did it. And so my proposition to him, when I looked at it, was like, babe, I've got a something I really want to do and I feel really called to do. It does kind of interfere with date night, which we like to do every Saturday night. But I'm like, my counter offer to that is that would you like to come and join me so that when I run workshops and retreats and include this,
Mm.
then, you can help me co-facilitate, or even if you're in the room, just bringing your beautiful energy, you will know what it's all about at a deeper level. And it might be a good chance for us to bond and learn something
Had he done constellations?
no, he
Oh,
he he's a corporate dude that is
I
totally
love it.
open-minded and totally, a medicine man and doesn't know it. But he's new to all of this stuff, and he
Mm.
yeah, I really that's one of my favorite things about him is the openness. Because after running so many of these trainings myself, you look around the room and often it's 90% women or 80% women.
Yes,
And
totally.
the beautiful men that are there seem quite dragged in some cases. And so I think I had a belief system before I met my partner that I had to be with someone who was just as spiritual, just into personal development, just as, you know, into all the courses and seminars and books that I was, because it's such a big value for me. But what I realized is just that openness and being open to it, whatever that looks like. And not all
Yeah.
partners need to come front row. So please don't go and divorce your partner if they're not doing that. But it's been really lovely to go on that journey and have that be something that we have in common. But it's all really brand new to him. But he's just got that open heart and that open mind, and he's been blown away by the results that he's had around self-love, around healing family stuff, around knowing himself better, showing up as a father, our own relationship. And it gives us a really beautiful context that we can share and come back to. Because let's face it, it's not sexy if I try and coach my partner, even though I probably accidentally drift into that space sometimes. So to actually have done a course or
Yeah.
two and be able to go, oh, this could be an orders of love thing, or oh, this could be a masculine, feminine, and have that to come back to. It's been a really nice touchstone that we can use when we're navigating our own relationship shit, or relationship, as I call it. Yeah.
Pesky with a T, not a P.
Yes, definitely a T. That was borrowed
Mm.
off a girlfriend, actually. I think she made it up, so probably shouldn't have credit, but I heard it a couple of years ago when she said it, and I was like, that's a good one. Very descriptive.
It is a very good one. Yeah, I was always I admired his willingness to be able to drop in and to represent some very some big topics.
Yeah.
To find like I didn't realize that he hadn't really known constellation. So big
No.
ups, big ups to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really good metaphor for the guys out there. He's in his 50s and had never done anything like this before. And by just having that openness and going, I'm going to try something new, like just see it as I've never skydived, I'll give that a crack. Or I've never been on a boat, let me give that like just an open curiosity down a path where he's now done, other personal development, men's groups. He's made friends in that space. And he's got, so much out of it. So I think there's a bit of resistance, just men in general, but also men over a certain age. It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and it's like it's all rubbish. You can totally go in, and the brain plasticity, if you've got an open heart, an open mind, what you can get out of this stuff starting at any point, no matter who you are, is
Mm.
just really profound. But yeah, in our course, we kind of became the constellation couple because we were showing up together. And on day one, we were both a little bit nervous and like, oh, what are we going to say? Are we going to tell people that we actually trigger each other, or are we going to pretend we're perfect? Like, look at all these new people in the room. And by the end of it, we were kind of like, oh, it's really annoying. Nothing's triggered me this week, and I really want to get up there and work on something. So I think we've
I
adjusted.
love that. We'd start the weekend, and one of you would look at each other and go, "Wow, I'm feeling really triggered about some stuff here right now." And it
Yeah.
was great. It was great to see you guys being so open and authentic, and yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful process to witness.
Yeah, it kind of helped us reframe the triggers. And even though I knew this intellectually, and I teach this to my clients that help me embody it, that the triggers are not, you're not with someone and you kind of despite the triggers, you're with someone because of the triggers. The triggers are the gateway to the learning, to the heart opening, to the
Mm.
mirror effect that only
Mm.
relationships can have. So I think we've probably rewritten our vows because of constellations, where it might have been I do for better and worse and all those usual ones. And now it's probably, I look forward to being triggered by you for the rest of my life.
There's a t-shirt.
Yeah, totally. Get it
Yeah.
engraved on the ring. Trigger buddy instead of
Well,
husband.
careful what you say.
True.
I look forward to working through our triggers together, maybe.
100%.
Um,
I should be careful. The universe definitely does listen very closely to what I put out there.
yeah. And Leslie Nips, she said, like in America, the word trigger is big
Mm,
with the gun laws and all that sort of stuff that's happening. So
mm.
they tend to use the word activate a bit
Yeah,
more. Yeah.
yeah,
Because it is an activation, isn't it? Might not
yeah.
be a kind, welcome one, but it's an
No.
activation.
And I
But
kind of
then
like
we
it.
can activate or trigger ourselves into action as well to that's just triggered my awareness that I need to do it, or that's activated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the power of language, it's really important to pause. Sometimes we use language just because it's the only language we've ever used. But when you do
Mm,
actually pause and go, is that really the right language? Does that really have the frequency and the shadow and the light built into that word that I'm wanting? And if not,
mm,
is there a more useful word? And I think that's a great example of that because trigger, there is a bit of a word association to guns, to negative emotions, whereas yeah, activated, you can have a Kundalini activation. You can have
and
activated,
also when you pull a trigger, it comes straight back at you, right?
yeah, 100%.
Activation means there's a movement.
I
It's
love
something.
that. I'm going to borrow that one. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it's
welcome.
even
Check it out.
coming back to the mum stuff. It's, even the language around committed suicide. I've actually dropped that. And not because if someone said that, I would have no
Yeah.
issue with that. It's my choice to use language in the way that I choose to use it. And if someone's choosing to coach with me and giving me permission to call them out on their patterns, I might bring it up with them. But outside of that, people are free to do and say what they want. But I don't like that language. Committing suicide, there's association to committing murder, committing a crime. And, I'd rather say like you would, they passed away from a heart attack or passed away from mental health. Or,
Yeah.
it's just let's neutralize that and take away the accusations and the connotations in language. It's really powerful.
Yeah, it's a stigma, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
huge.
absolutely. And there's also these underlying judgments that are just so ingrained in language. And language is a direct reflection of what's happening in your mind. There's a direct pathway. So, how someone's talking is how they're thinking, and how they're thinking is how they're feeling. So, capturing
Mm.
the language isn't just about positive thinking or being the word police. It's actually about having a pattern interrupt that then can have that ripple effect and cascade through the thoughts and the feelings and then the behaviors. But it's this underlying good and bad. You ask people, how was your day? Not bad. It was good. But these are all judgments. And it's about, okay, but is that really how it was? What if you were just real and you dropped the stories around good or bad? How are you today? I'm really fucking tired. I'm really fucking sad. I'm
Mm.
really overwhelmed. Or I don't know how I am. Or I feel filled with gratitude. Or I feel like I have a personal joke between me and the universe and I feel like skipping today. It's that the power of language. It's really an interesting one to
Yeah, I always pull people up when they say, "Oh, there's so much going on in my life. I just need a break." And I'm like, "Oh, just careful what you ask for, because I know some people that have said that and broken their
hmm
wrists, or they've
hmm
broken their leg, or
You've got to be
um,
so careful. There was a case of
mm,
an air hostess who was wishing, I just want to be paid lots of money to sit on the couch. And it was a joke that they would always make. And then they had a nasty fall and had to work off insurance money and literally on the couch earning lots of money. But the body was not in a great place. So, yeah, it's really important to focus and talk about what you do want, not what you don't want, and use
mm.
language intentionally.
Yeah. Can
Mm.
you share, like, are there practices that you have through your soul coaching, or like you shared that, like you have these downloads, and many of us have our different things, but what would you do? Because I know you're incredibly intuitive. What do you do to sort of keep working that muscle, I suppose you would call it, or
I've
your connection, your connection?
got a bit of an unfair head start being a Piscean. I'm kind of, if you're into star signs, we're a particularly intuitive sign. So even on a unconscious day, I'm still very connected to my intuition. It's not something that I need to really work at activating. It's quite online a lot of the time. But I know when I'm in, I just call it alignment, where the intuition's always online, but there might just be, I don't know, I'm grabbing this thing that I cleaned my glasses with. There might just be something over it where it's still online, but it's like there's a lamp and there's just a bit of a scarf on top of the lamp. And so
Yeah.
I notice the things that take it off where it's like, are if my thing is waking up at 5 a.m. and watching the sunrise and starting the day with the day.
Mm,
That is just such a
nice.
simple, big thing. And even through this pregnancy, I've, you know, not felt like exercising. I've not really felt like journaling or doing my tarot cards or affirmations or any of the practices that I might normally do for peak
Yeah.
performance. But even just waking up with the sunrise and having a coffee, whether it's curled up on my couch or strolling down where I'm lucky enough to live near the beach and can watch the sunrise over the beach, or it's just that act of waking up intentionally with the sun for me really brings a sense of alignment. That's just a really simple thing. And then the more aligned I'm feeling, the more I load up that morning time with the
Mm,
things I mentioned, like journaling, like tarot cards, listening to podcasts, just following my intuition around. I just ask myself what would be really delicious and self-loving right now. And I let myself do that from 5 till whenever my day starts. Um, that would be that would be a big one. But I also feel that when sometimes we wait to be in alignment to do the thing, but sometimes doing the thing puts us in alignment.
mm,
And sometimes it feels clunky and brave, and we need to do it when we're ready to be ready rather than fully ready. And whether that's, in my case, even this workshop that we're running, I'd been I'd lost a little bit of momentum because I took the break to kind of work on myself. And this is one of my first events getting back out there. And I was a little bit in my perfectionism patterns going, oh, okay, I'm doing singing, but that's not really my niche. Will that be confusing? And I was all in my head. And will my clients know what I do? Will they think I've become a singer? And then I just stopped and I said, analysis paralysis does not get you into alignment. Taking action does. Just do the thing. You're either going to make magic or you're going to learn something or you're going to meet someone, but you're feeling called to do this. So just do it. It's
yeah.
amazing just by doing, that's just one example. And doing the thing could be joining the gym, asking the person out, having the phone call, whatever the thing is, do it
Yeah.
before you're ready. Just because you got a little inkling and it's amazing how then the alignment started flooding through and it felt like that light came off. And suddenly I'm getting signs, synchronicities, angel
Mm,
numbers, right person, right time, opportunities. And it all started syncing up. But if I had have waited for that to do the thing, I probably wouldn't have done the thing. So it's about cultivating a little ritual that works for you. Mine's the morning one. But then it's about
mm,
listening when the little inklings are a whisper and sometimes by being brave enough to do it before you're ready, it kind of opens a channel.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what works for me.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, really beautiful. So what's going to happen to your clients? Their soulmate's going to be, soulmate coach is going to be having a bit of a hiatus for a little while,
I
or
have a bit of a intuitive feeling that I'm entering my creatrix mode more than ever. So I will
mm,
be pouring all my love and energy into this beautiful little baby boy. But
yeah,
yeah, I'll be available for the right projects and people alongside that in a way that will work in flow. So I'm
I'm
just
excited for
handing
you
it over
guys.
to the universe and trusting. But in the past, I've worked with a lot of one-on-one coaching clients. So
Mhm.
I'm moving back into a place that I was in a few years back, which is a lot more workshops because it just time-wise allows me to work one to many. It's just a lot more doable. So I can pour all my beautiful energy outside of that into my little one and then
Yeah,
still be doing what I love within my purpose, but in a way that it just makes more sense. And I love the group stuff. There's certain stuff that can only happen one-on-one, and there's certain stuff that can only happen in a group. And I've done both
mm,
for many, many years. But I really do love the group stuff. I feel like the field becomes very juicy in a group environment. And I just
mm,
love that energy that can be created in a group. And I feel like it can sometimes get us out of our head more successfully in that group, going off that group consciousness and energy, sometimes that can put us in our head even more for certain people, and I get that. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you can see someone who's maybe stepping out and doing something that you're anticipating or you're on the edge of, and it's like, if they can do that, if they can open their mouth and let sound come out, then I can. That's great.
You bring up a really good point. You articulated it better than I do of the one of the key differences in group work, because it's not just you working with the coach and there happens to be other people in the room or the facilitator. It's actually that every person in that room, you become each other's teacher. So instead of it being
Mm.
two people in the field that are learning from each other in the field, you've got X amount, whether it's 10 or 100, and those people become metaphors of your inner parts, your family members. It becomes a constellation, even if you're not doing constellation.
Oh, absolutely.
So you've almost got 100 times the learnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having it through that lens too, like if you've got that lens going, I'm just filtering that through the background. Oh, I see that happening there. And okay,
Mhm.
I think for me as a facilitator, it certainly helps on a deeper understanding and not needing to fix, just an understanding and okay, that's
Yeah,
why this is happening.
absolutely.
Amazing. Well, I know that you've got some things coming up later this afternoon, and we could spend hours chatting here, but I'm going to invite you to just a place in here, maybe any contact details that you need to
Yeah.
share. So if anyone, because sometimes people are audible and they'd like to hear it. Um, yeah, we'll go from there.
Awesome. The event that we have coming up is on humanities. So I've got a little
Yeah.
flyer and a humanities link for that. Should I put?
That's great. Yeah, I'll share that. And so if someone wanted to reach out to you for any other reason, maybe they're
Yeah.
looking for their soulmate, whatever. Are you the soulmatecoach.com, Sydney guru, whatever? How does it work?
I'm actually the best place to find me would be on Instagram. So I'll put that link down as well. And I'm really responsive on there. So send me a message on there and we can have a little chat and see how I can help you fall madly in love with yourself first and foremost.
Oh, beautiful.
And anyone else is just a bonus.
I love it. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for saying yes to coming here and having a chat with me and
I do.
sharing beautiful, beautiful vibes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Head over to Instagram and tell me what's resonated for you with this episode. You'll find me at tracy.cartwright. That's Tracy with no E, .cartwright. Or head over to my website, tracycartwright.co.nz, and receive a free audio with the gift from your ancestors. So until next time, be kind to yourself and have fun doing it.